What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's IVANTASANDiWICH coming to give you some more excellent content. I know I took off some time around Christmas and pretty much all of January, but here we go. I've been wanting to do this Kruiz Control video for a long time. Let's get started talking about how to install Kruiz Control. So first and foremost, Kruiz Control is an amazing, powerful program. I know I've mentioned it before. Check out some of my older videos. I talk about some brief things it can do in conjunction with other programs. This software is hands down the most powerful software you will use. It's up there with the likes of LioranBoard, it's up there with the likes of Touch Portal. In many cases, I think it's much more flexible and even more powerful. So you're gonna need three things. The first thing is gonna be OBS, obviously. The second thing is gonna be Kruiz Control, obviously. The third thing is going to be the OBS Websocket plugin, which is going to be on the OBS website. I have a link to it in the description below. Check that out. If you need help installing plugins, I have videos on how to install plugins. Check those out as well. They'll be on the channel, links in the description below. And then the last thing, which is optional, the fourth thing, is going to be a Kruiz Control configurator. It's developed by Kruiz Control. Kruiz Control is a developer I've talked about on this channel before. He's made some really, really cool products, and the configurator just makes this job a lot easier. So, links to everything in the description below. So before we head over there, if you're new here, consider hitting that red subscribe button down below. I think it's here, somewhere. Hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss any of the other content that's coming up on the channel. Got a lot of stuff planned. It's gonna be awesome. You don't wanna miss it. Okay? Now, let's go ahead and get this stuff installed. Heading over there, let's go. So now that we know what we need to install this program, let's go ahead and get started with that. The first thing we're gonna go ahead and download is the OBS WebSocket. It allows various network features to occur within OBS. You may already have this if you're using other plugins or other features. So simply go to the download link, scroll down to the installer, click it, open it up, follow the prompts, and bada boom, it's that easy. And you have yourself the OBS WebSocket. If OBS was open, you will need to close that and open it back up for it to be running properly. But to test, what we can do is open up OBS. Once it's open, under Tools, you should see WebSocket Server Settings here. We should leave everything as default unless you know what you're doing. Leave it as default. Okay, we'll close that back up. The next thing we're going to do is actually download Kruiz Control. So go to the Kruiz Control link, which is in the description below. Click download here. It'll run the download. Open it up. So we're going to extract this folder into our C program files folder. Once we extract, you'll get hit with a prompt asking for administrator permission. Just hit continue. It's a couple seconds, and boom, that is done. So now you see you have this Kruiz Control master folder. You can leave it named that. For this time, I'm going to go ahead and rename it just Kruiz Control so it looks nicer in my programs folder. We'll hit continue. All right. And then the other thing I want to do is add this as a shortcut to my desktop. So we'll send it, or you can hit create shortcut, but we'll send it to desktop. And that way, when we get down to it, we have a shortcut, nice and neat. And I'm just OCD with the naming. So I just want to name it AC. There we go. Now when we open it, it brings us right into our folder. These are all the things we need, okay? And before we start messing with this, what I'm going to do is install the Kruiz Control configurator. I already had that pulled up as well. It's on the Kruiz Control GitHub page, right down below the download link. So once you click on that, go ahead and install the Kruiz Control configurator exe. Again, save. It's gonna say, hey, this is kind of fishy, but it's a good Crash Code. It's a good developer. He's not gonna put spyware on your computer. Don't worry about it. Just run anyway. So once you have the Kruiz Control configurator, you'll take it out of your downloads folder, drag it into the Kruiz Control folder that you already had opened up. So to get this to work, you will have to run it as administrator. So we're gonna right-click on Kruiz Control configurator and run as administrator. Press yes. It'll say there's an update. Ignore this. This is a little bug. But it should read from this settings folder here. if you want to go through the documentation, I should put that up on screen here. If you want to go through the documentation and actually fill this stuff out on your own, feel free to do so. It's a very good way of doing it. It works just fine. If you want to use the easy way, we're going to use the Kruiz Control configurator here. So what we want to do is essentially refill all of these with the pertinent information. So I'll go through that right now. Also, something to note is you do not need to fill out all of these. You only need the ones you're going to use. All the buttons take you to the proper links or the proper documentation. It's very straightforward, very, very easy. You should not have any trouble doing this. So let's go through a couple, and you should get the gist of it. And then we'll do some tests to make sure Kruiz Control is up and running. I'm gonna go ahead and put my username in. Channel disconnect for chat should be the same as your username, unless you are doing something weird, or you're using you're using your account to control another chat for some reason. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get OAuth token. It'll take you to this page. Remember, do not show this to anybody. It is private. If you leak it, people can get to your stream and stream stuff on there. So you have no control over that. If you think it might have been leaked, just go into Twitch and reset the API or reset the OAuth token. Pretty easy to do. It's under settings. So you'll copy this. You're going to go back to the configurator. Going to paste it in. Now for the OBS WebSocket, we don't have a password. If you do have a password, you can put that in here, but I'm going to delete it. I'm going to go ahead and save. Okay. And now for the StreamLabs API key, that's a little bit more complicated. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's go ahead. I personally use StreamElements, so let's do the StreamElements. We'll get the JWT token. It opens up a web page. Takes you right to StreamElements. You want to sign in. Now you'll go into channels. And up in this top section here, you're going to go to show secrets. Toggle that on. Remember, don't show this to anybody either. Copy the JWT token. Copy that. We're going to go back to the configurator. I'm going to paste that in here. And you'll do something very similar with StreamLabs Socket API token. So with StreamLabs, it'll take you to the StreamLabs website. It's also pretty straightforward. You'll sign in. It'll auto sign you in with Twitch. You can go to the account tab down here, and it's under the settings. Once you're on the settings page, you simply go into API settings, and you go to API tokens, and the Socket API token is here. So you can just copy it. You don't have to, well, once you copy it, it shows. Go back to the configurator, paste it in here, good to go. And same thing if you have a response voice key. So if you have a response voice key, click on the link, do that. We're going to do the SLOBS API token, or the SLOBS API key in a little bit. StreamLabs OBS, folks. I'm going to go ahead and do a little magic here. I'm going to click. This is going to take you to the documentation that has the step-by-step instructions on how to get this working with StreamLabs OBS. All right. Now, here comes the magic part, because I'm going to do this in no hands, baby. No hands, right? Once you open up StreamLabs OBS, you're going to go into the settings cogwheel on the bottom left-hand side. And then what you're going to do is go to the remote control tab, open up that. There's a QR code. You should click on it. It should show some information there. And once you hit the show details, you will see the API token. So take that API token, copy it onto your clipboard, and then take it into the Kruiz Control folder that we installed. So save. Let's do this. Okay, let's close it, reopen it just to make sure everything's saved. It's looking good. The other thing you can do is you can actually go into the settings. All these folders here are going to correlate to those different options that we were messing with before. So in Twitch, it should have your username. It does. Under chat, it should have the OAuth token, which again, I won't show, but you can click it, open it. It should be here. It should be what you pasted in earlier. The user should also be there. So if these are all correct, odds are the other stuff is correct too. The OBS thing, you can check the WebSocket. It should be localhost and port 4444. All of that looks good. So now what we can do is we can test out Kruiz Control in our chat. Actually, there's one thing we have to do before that even happens. Now let's get Kruiz Control to be recognized in OBS, and then we can test to make sure everything's working. So first of all, open up OBS. Kruiz Control operates as a browser source, so if you put any overlays on your stream in the past, this is going to be old news to you. I personally like to have, my regular scene or whatever scenes, and then I'll use Kruiz Control sort of as because it runs in the background. You don't need it to be on every single scene, which is super nice. I will have my own scene just for Kruiz Control, or maybe I'll throw it in a nested scene with like some overlays and stuff. So this scene is blank. I'm gonna go ahead, add, you go to browser source. I'm gonna name it KC just because, again, that's what I like to refer to it as. It's gonna be a local file, and you're gonna go back to that C folder that you put it in, whichever folder you put it in. For me, it was program files. And then I'm gonna go into Kruiz Control. And what you wanna add is the index.html, okay? So you add that. You can make this whatever size you want. I do 100 by 100, so it's small. You wanna make sure this is not checked. You don't want it to shut down when it's not visible. You want it to be running all the time. And you don't need to worry about refreshing it when the scene becomes active. So we'll hit OK. And now what we can do is Kruiz Control should be operating, and it is. So let's try it to see, make sure it's working. Example. Success, it worked. There you go. And one last thing, this is super crucial because since it's a browser source, if you go and change anything in any of the Kruiz Control master folder, like any of the triggers, any of the settings, anything, you will need to reset it. And it's a pain to go in and reset each time by using reset this, or you have to go, sometimes I've even had to go back in and reselect the file and hit OK. It's a big pain. So with the 1.3.4 version update, what they added was they added a KC reset command. And what it does is it resets Kruiz Control, and on initialization, it'll tell you once it's done resetting and restarting. So it's super simple, super straightforward. That's how you get Kruiz Control up and running. And in future videos, I'm gonna go through how to essentially make this replace your bot, as well as do much more other complicated things that like turn on sources, turn off sources, move things, turn on filters, etc. It's a very, very powerful program. Kruizer8 has done an outstanding job. You should go check him out. He links to his stuff in the description below. Okay guys, well that's about it for this video. Again, let me know what you think. Tell me in the comments below what you want to see coming up. I've got more Kruiz Control tutorials that I have in the pipeline. We're gonna get to some much more advanced things that are gonna really flex. It lets Kruiz Control flex. There's a lot of stuff, okay? So subscribe for that so you don't miss it. Hit me up in the comments. I'll see you guys on Twitter, Discord, Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 6 PM EST. And until the next video, stay fresh, because sandwiches. Yeah, he knows what's up.